Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, How to Kick Your Social Media into High Gear. My name is Eliana Raggio, and I'll be your moderator today. And today's webinar is being presented by DEALERUN. And for anyone who isn't familiar with DEALERUN, well, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, and we're best known for our search engine optimization, best-in-class customer service, and our award-winning websites. DEALERUN was named the top-rated website provider by driving sales in 2011, 2012, and 2013. And DEALERUN customers have been winners of the Digital Dealer Website Excellence Awards, highly coveted overall winner, and unprecedented 5 times in a row. We're the only website company that can claim that. DEALERUN is so committed to lead conversion, optimization, and customer service that we're the only company in the industry to offer a money-back lead guarantee program. So, does your website company guarantee you a 50% lift in leads? Yeah. Well, then maybe you should check us out at DEALERUN.com. And we have a great show in store for today. We're very pleased to have Kate Frost as our presenter today. Kate Frost is the president of Kate Frost, Inc., which helps their dealership clients to improve their lead handling processes and digital marketing. Kate has an extensive background in automotive advertising and brings a unique insight into the automotive digital marketing realm. From online advertising and branding to engaging social media and website enhancement, Kate helps establish and maintain dealerships' digital presence. With well over a decade invested in the automotive industry, she has collaborated with numerous OEMs, dealer groups, and single-store operations, both through in-store, outside sales, and most recently in a digital media consulting capacity. Kate is an avid traveler, and she can be reached at katefrostinc.com. Now, during the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer those questions of general interest. If we're unable to get to your question live, don't worry, we'll respond by email later today. Also, don't forget, a link to download a copy of the webinar recording will also be emailed to you later today for your reference, and hey, feel free to share it with friends and colleagues. I also want to let you know that DEALERUN will be at the upcoming Digital Dealer 16 in Atlantic City, May 6th through the 8th. So, if you're going to be there, I need you to stop by booth 623 and take the opportunity to check out our new responsive website platform, Chameleon. You'll see what the future of dealer websites will look like, and you'll learn why Google recommends that your dealership's website be built on a responsive platform. Hey, you can check out the sexiest dealer websites you've ever seen. So if you're going to be a digital dealer next month, make sure to stop by booth number 623 and check out the future of dealership websites. And while you're there, check out the speaking sessions from 2 of our EVPs at DEALERUN. You don't want to miss them. And if you haven't gotten your ticket just yet, well, DEALERUN's here to help with that too. We've got an exclusive discount code that will score you a $100 savings on the ticket price. Just use the discount code on the screen when you register. And guess what? Our good friends at Kate Frost Inc., they're giving away a fantastic prize today on the webinar. One of you lucky webinar attendees is going to win a GoPro Hero 3 camera. You have to be on the live broadcast to win it, though. Oh, how I wish I was eligible to win this awesome prize today. But you know what? You are. All you have to do is stay tuned for the details after Kate's presentation, and you could be scoring this awesome prize today. At the conclusion of the webinar, you're going to receive a short survey. Fill it out. We're always looking for great feedback from our audience. Today we're going to randomly select a couple of people from all the completed surveys to also win some Google prizes. So let's get started. Let's learn how to kick your social media into high gear. Kate Frost, my favorite weather girl. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks. Thanks everybody for jumping on and spending your lunch hour with us today. I love this graphic that you put on here, Eliana. It is Charlie Sheen doing a high kick, #winning. And throughout the course of the last few weeks, I've always been tempted to call it how to high kick your social media into gear. So it can be one or the other here. But anyway, I really appreciate you having me on for the 3rd time, and looking forward to dropping some social knowledge on everybody and hearing everybody's thoughts and answering questions at the end. But what I really am going to focus on and help you guys out with today is talking a lot about why it's not about likes, but why it's about engagement. And I feel like that's something that's probably been said for a while and could be kind of cliche, kind of like content is king, but this is more important than ever, and I want to give you some information behind that. Also, visual marketing and why it's so important to your dealership's digital marketing strategy. That's going to be for both social media and your own website. And then some content ideas that will help to generate those likes, those shares, comments, and referring traffic. So at the end, if you have any questions, feel free. You can go ahead and try to stump the dummy, which might not be too hard.
Oh,
so.
Stop. By the way, as you saw on that last screen, too, we also are doing a hashtag of our own. I know we were kidding about it earlier.
Yes.
If you do post, and we do hope you do, if you do post anything about today's presentation with Kate Frost and me, I'm at Eliana Raggio, by the way, if anyone cares. Please use the hashtag DealerUnWebby. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Kate, take it away. Where do we start?
Sure. So I was really excited that last month around this time I attended an event called PubCon. And for those of you that don't know, PubCon is a non-automotive event, but it's focused solely around social media and local search engine optimization. And it was a great experience to go learn for 4 days from people who were outside of the industry to take away some of those ideas and see how we could apply them to the auto industry. And I was lucky enough to go with April Rain and AJ, aka Walter White. We had a great time. This event happens, I think, 2 to 3 times a year. And so anybody who is interested in getting an outside perspective, I would encourage you to do this. Obviously, within our own industry, we have Digital Dealer, as Eliana just mentioned, and so many others, but it was really neat to get this outside perspective, and a lot of the information I'm going to share with you today came from these 4 days that were spent in New Orleans. And I know that I just got started, but I really am kind of curious to set the stage and ask the audience a question. Eliana?
Audience, we have a very easy question for you. In fact, there's only 2 answers. It's a true or false question. So please get involved. It really is going to help us out. True or false? At my dealership, my GM cares more about how many fans we have on Facebook than interactions on posts. Now, for those of you out there who may possibly be a GM, then just imagine. So do you care more about how many fans you have on Facebook, or do you care more about the interactions on each of the posts? We want to know what's happening at your dealership. Don't lie, because we will know.
Water torture. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so once we get a large majority of the votes, we'll close this poll and share the results. And thank you so much, audience, for voting. We have a lot of people that already came in and sent in their answers. I really appreciate it. We're going to close up this poll in just another couple of questions. So what was the name of that convention again? PubCon?
It's called PubCon, and it was in New Orleans, so it was I guess a month after being there for NADA, and it was very funny to be walking around the convention center where it was held and still see some of the marketing from NADA. So the auto industry really left a mark on New Orleans.
Ah, I love it. Okay. Okay, audience, let's close this poll and share the results. Well, as you can see on your screen, 66% of today's audience said false, and 34% of today's audience said true. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah, I don't know what I wanted, but I'm happy to hear that that's the answer, because I think that for a long time we were confused on how to quantify our effect on social media, and the easiest thing to gauge was how many fans we had. So in talking to dealers across the country, I would always hear, hey, my competitor has 112,000 fans, I want to have that many. And trying to have that paradigm shift where people really started to understand that it's not about the 112,000 fans in Indonesia. It's about having a local marketplace and having customers that are actually talking to you. So I think that's fantastic, and that's certainly the direction that we're going in, where it really is about the quality and not the quantity. And one of the biggest takeaways that I had from PubCon was this aha moment when Peter Shankman, who was one of the keynote speakers, got up on stage and said, "Mark my words, the like button will be obsolete in 24 to 36 months."
What?
And that's a big shift, right? He went on to say that he polled the audience and said, how many of you in the last year or two have gone up to somebody and asked them to be your friend? I mean, not a lot of people, right? Not beyond grade 2 have you asked that question. And then furthermore, when you're no longer friends with that person, or you've broken up with your boyfriend, to go through the process of unfriending them is equally uncomfortable. And he said the reality is that the network already knows who you're friends with. And they know that because you're tagging them in photos, you're liking their pictures, you're commenting on them, you're checking into places. And so there doesn't need to be that uncomfortable process of liking or unliking somebody. What Facebook is trying to do is deliver content that's that you're interacting with, and that's why this engagement and interaction becomes so critical. You've probably seen over the last few months that Facebook has changed its algorithm and your reach has gone down significantly. And that's probably for 2 reasons. One is maybe you didn't have a ton of engagement or interaction to get started. And then the second is Facebook went public, and now it's a pay-to-play type of environment. And if you're not already boosting your posts, I would really encourage you to do so. You can do it for as little as $5 a day. And so we're talking about maybe a budget of $150 a month. But to be able to boost that post so that your audience, your fans, and your friends of fans can see that will certainly help drive that engagement. But furthermore, now that Facebook has integrated with Polk data, you can do a custom target audience and really go after who Polk believes are going to be in the market to purchase a vehicle in the next 6 months. So you can have that steady drip of your content being shown to those in-market shoppers. So if you're not already doing this, I would encourage you to do so. Get with the owner or the GM and get that $150 budget approved so that you can start getting seen, having that interaction, driving the likes, and referring that traffic back to your site. And just some things by the numbers, 90% of the information submitted to the brain is visual, and images process 60,000 times faster than text. So as you're thinking about what that content is that you're going to pay to boost, I would really urge you to use visuals based on these stats. Because the reality is we all have ADD of some sort. It's much easier to digest information that's visual than it is to read through. On the left-hand side, you're going to see a comparison between the Jeep Grand Cherokee and the Toyota Highlander. And obviously this went on, and I couldn't screenshot the whole thing. But I think that you would all agree that the graphic on the right-hand side, where we've already done the work, is much easier to process and digest. And this is great content that can be used across all of your social media channels, your website. It can even be used as an email marketing campaign. So really getting away from reading less but delivering more. And along those lines, that's why we're going to focus so much on this visual marketing. If you look at what Facebook started out as in 2004, where it was a lot of text, it wasn't so image heavy, and you see it now, you can see that Facebook has put a tremendous emphasis on graphics. I don't know if that's because of their partnership or the purchase of Instagram, which is so visual, but more and more you're seeing that we have a lot of real estate to display not only graphics, but when we're adding links in our status updates, there's even a large display image that goes with it. Pinterest, obviously being one of the fastest growing social media channels out there, is all about the visuals. And even Twitter has jumped on board, and it's no longer just the 140 characters. We've got visuals displaying in our feed, and it seems like every other month there's a new app out there, new social media that's taking off, whether that's Vine or Snapchat. But the consensus is, and the common denominator is, that visual marketing is really taking over and that you need to jump on board. And so I'm going to go through a few of, I think, the most important ones, and we can talk about what changes are taking place and what types of content you can deliver to your audience to get that engagement. I think the biggest stat on this page that jumps out to me is the 350 million photos that are uploaded every single day, and then the 72 million likes. So how do you have some of those likes on your photos? You need to take advantage of the real estate, right? And so the graphic on the right-hand side shows what size all of the images should be on your timeline, and with the caveat that Facebook is going to be changing the layout of the business page in the next few months, or probably next few weeks. I already have some dealers' Facebook business pages that have made that switch, and probably the most notable changes you'll see are going to be those custom tabs will move down along the left-hand side, and you'll no longer have a left and right-hand side for your status updates. It's going to be all on the right-hand side, similar to your own personal page, and you'll lose the ability to highlight some of those photos. But this is, in terms of the cover photo and the profile pic, a lot of those will stay the same. If you're not already following me on Facebook, you can, and I'll be posting an updated graphic of this once those sizes become available, so that you can make sure you're optimizing everything for that. And then I saw last week that Facebook is actually changing their ads as well, and again, more emphasis on the visual. Any of you who have been creating Facebook ads have probably seen that your mobile ad versus the ad that shows on the right-hand side are two different sizes. They're merging that, so it'll now be one size, which is good news. And the other nice part about that is it's going to take up more real estate on the right-hand side, so there will be less ads displayed. So over the next few weeks, definitely pay attention to that. You can go to facebook.com/business to see as they're rolling that out. But again, I want you guys to be thinking about the photos that you're using and the graphics that you're creating. I had mentioned earlier about Twitter and displaying pictures there as well, and I think that one of the parts that's most exciting on this is that dealers, if you're not already doing this, you can set up an advanced search to see people who are in your market that are tweeting about buying a car or getting their vehicle serviced, or that they've recently been in an accident. And what a fantastic way to make a first impression when you see those come in is, delivering a coupon right back to them for that oil change they need to do, or letting them know that you service all makes and models. It's a great way to get your message, your brand, your dealership in front of a very target audience. So if you're not already doing that, definitely go into Twitter today and set up some of those queries and searches. I think that it's something that's going to become pretty standard moving forward, because there's a lot of opportunity there, but I don't know of that many dealers at this point who are doing it. So perhaps you can be first in the marketplace and really capitalize on some of your competitors as well. The next one is Pinterest, and I have to say it's my very favorite social media channel. If anybody else is on the call and a woman, I'm sure they're shaking their heads in agreement. I have to admit that I spend way more than 14.2 minutes a day on Pinterest, especially with the holidays coming up. Pinterest is a time where we're all doing searches so that we can have the very best eggs to dye for Easter, and we're looking for recipes and decorating and exercise tips on how to work off all of the chocolate that we ate during that time. But with an audience that's comprised of 80% females, it's a great tie-in for dealers because women are the primary decision makers when purchasing a vehicle. So some interesting stats about Pinterest that you might not be aware of are the Pin It button is more popular than like or tweet buttons on brand pages. So if you don't already have this plugin or capability on your website or your blog, certainly add it so that this content can be shared across all platforms. And that the average pin is 100 times more viral than a tweet. That's a big number. The fact is that Pinterest has the longest shelf life out of any social media platform. People search all the time, so if you do a post that has a tie-in to a holiday or a reoccurring event, each year when somebody does a search, your pin would be delivered. The average pin receives 10 repins, and the average pin drives 6 page views. So in addition to all of these things, Pinterest is also a great way to capture some really great SEO for your own dealership and website. Your boards should be named. This was one of their big tips. Your boards should be named along the same lines as your keywords that you're purchasing through search engine marketing. So that could be the 2014 Toyota Tundra in Plano, and then having that deep link into the inventory from there. So Pinterest, obviously very visual. It's not only images, but it's video as well. And then Google+. So I think for a long time we all thought that Google+ was the redheaded stepchild, and it kind of still is, but the reality is this is Google's world and we're just living in it. So if Google has Google+, pretty soon we all need to have Google+ too, especially for businesses. You've seen that your Places has merged with Google+, and the easiest way to find out if that merge has happened and that you've done it correctly is when you go to do a search of your dealership name. On the right-hand side where your hours of operation and your address are listed, you would also have a button where you could follow directly from there, and it would show your most recent post that you've done on Google+. So again, a way to have this visual element, this social media, and this connectivity all on your home page. The other beauty of it is because it's on the right-hand side, and your competitors could also be buying these keywords and your name, those are going to be pushed below. You actually own that real estate, so you want to make sure that you're capitalizing on that. And then last but not least is Instagram. This isn't, unlike the other social media channels that I just talked about, which all have tremendous SEO value. I haven't seen a ton of SEO value with Instagram. If any of you have an Instagram account set up for your dealership and you're getting first or even second page results, I'd love to hear about it and see what you're doing more. But I think Instagram is just a great way to have some quality photos that you can use there and get additional exposure, but then push out to all of those other sites as well. And the fact that 55 million photos are uploaded every single day, clearly a lot of usage with 70% of users checking it daily, it's not a bad place to be. And if you feel like you have a good handle on some of your other social media channels, then this is definitely a great place to go next. And more if all of that's not compelling enough, some more statistics on why you should be using photos and images are the fact that they get 50% more interaction than any other content. They get 7 times more likes and 10 times more shares than links. So as you guys are doing these posts, you definitely want to have a picture or an image that corresponds with your message. Because videos on landing pages increase page conversion rates by 90%. That's huge. And then posts with visuals receive 94% more page visits and engagement than those without. And 60% of consumers are more likely to click on a business whose images appear in search results. And that goes back to making sure that you have that Google Plus for Business set up correctly. And with all of that content that's being pushed across all of these channels, you're probably asking, how do I stand out and get my message seen? And so that leads into the second poll question, Eliana.
Thank you, Kate. Wonderful presentation so far. Audience,
well, thank you.
Audience, we are launching our second and final poll question right now. So please look at your screen and get involved. We want to know, when you need a digital graphic made, what do? And please select one of the following answers. Do you create it yourself? Do you ask your in-house designer to do it for you? Do you beg a friend to make it for you? You just pick up the phone and call your advertising agency, or is there some other mystery thing that you do to get that digital graphic made? How do you handle when you need a digital graphic made? And I know there's a lot of people out there, you need it. I mean, at some point you're going to need a graphic made.
And I've definitely been the friend that people call and beg for that graphic. So I understand that when you need it made, you need it made.
Well, just so you know, Subi wrote in, she said she does a rain dance and asks the gods for a graphic. I don't know how effective that has been video. For you.
I totally want to see the YouTube video of that, and I think that we could get everybody doing it, like the African anteater ritual.
And April Rain, we know her, she's my other favorite weather girl. She says that she draws stick figures. Frank, I will protect your identity and not give your last name, but Frank says that he steals it off of Google.
Awesome. We're going to be touching on that as well.
Okay. Craig says that he begs and bribes Kate, LOL. Diane says she gets ideas from the internet. And, oh, Frank says no, he's only kidding.
Sure. The Google police have already been alerted.
Sure. David says if Subi does a rain dance, he would buy in on the rain dance. It must be working for her. And oh my gosh, lots of people who wrote in. Renee says, who's she kidding? Subi calls Scooby-Doo and his clan. AJ and Jimbo said that they call Kate Frost. And David says he uses Wiki Commons images.
Cool.
Ricardo says, I do some in-house also to get stuff done faster sometimes, because he thinks that's faster. And along with all of these people giving me all these jokes about where they do get their images and graphics, we also have David who said this is a ton of info freaking nation that you're putting out, Kate. And Frank agrees. He says you're awesome. And Michael says the last few slides of metrics on Pinterest, G+, Instagram were amazing. And okay,
great.
You know what? Let's go. We got a lot of stuff to get to.
Yes, so obviously it's a range. We all scramble. Maybe it's not the most organized process out there, but there are some really great tools and apps that are free.
Just before you go there, just so you know, 48% of today's audience said that they just do it themselves. That's the quickest, easiest way. It's the painless way.
Great.
48%. So you got like half, right?
Perfect. Well, and hopefully this list will make your life easier, your graphics better, and save you some time. There's a ton of free tools out there that can help you create these infographics and fabulous presentations and just some of those one-offs too, where you're not having to be a Photoshop expert to get them made. The very last one at the bottom of that list is Flipagram, and I'll touch on that briefly because it seems like it's my latest obsession. I think that dealers overall struggle, in terms of all the social media channels, they struggle the most with content for YouTube beyond used car videos that are being made or a commercial. They really don't have a strategy in place. And with Flipagram, it's a free app. Download it now, or at least at the end of the presentation. And what it allows you to do is select photos that are on your camera, through Facebook, through Instagram, and create either a 15 or 30-second video that can have audio or a song playing with it, but it flips through almost like that virtual walk around, and this is a great way to either highlight a used car, some of your new car inventory, but that can be used across all of these channels and as part of your internet follow-up. And again, if you're not following me on Facebook, I've put some really great examples of some of my dealers who are using Flipagram to respond to internet leads. So definitely check that out. I think you can pay 99 cents or $1.99 and update the watermark so that it could be your own hashtag, since everybody seems to love hashtags on this call.
And you know what? We have some additions from our audience too. David, for instance, wrote in, he says the Library of Congress images are royalty-free to use. So that's another resource. And
very good.
And Bill Playford wrote in that he also uses PowerPoint to create memes and other images as well.
Very cool. Yeah. So I think some of the important things when you're talking about or thinking about some of this visual marketing, what do you want to put out there? And one of the most important things is to keep it real. And that's with real photos, not just the stock photos that you're getting from the manufacturer. If you are getting those, you can definitely run them through an Instagram or a Flipagram and add that watermark or your logo to make it look more customized. Take them of real photos of real things taken by real people, and the point is that perfection isn't important. On the left-hand side, you'll see a post that Toyota of Plano did of one of their trucks, and even though the truck is beautiful, you know, it's not professionally lit, it's not the very best, highest quality, but the fact is 183 people liked it, 15 people commented, and 4 people shared. So we know that sitting on every dealership's lot is one of their cool trucks that they've either pimped out or put some accessories on, so that's a great place to start. I think that Starbucks does a great job with this. Obviously, it's Starbucks. They have a huge marketing budget, but if you follow them on Facebook, you're going to see that they use real customer photos to drive their brand. So follow them, get inspiration from them, and then use that at your own store. And then the other tip is to make it useful, to stick with the Toyota of Plano theme. They're in Texas where obviously it's very hot, but there's 2 things that are true about the internet, that everybody loves pictures of dogs and videos of cats. And so this is a way to kind of tap into that audience and provide some really useful information. So we're coming up on hopefully spring and summer soon, although I know a lot of you could be looking at snow, but 70 degrees is too hot to leave a dog in the car. It gives you the outside temperature and then what the temperature is inside the car. And this is nice because it's not just driving your brand, although it's enhancing it. It's providing really useful information to your audience, which will certainly get shared and pinned. And then make infographics. Infographics and checklists are some of the most repinned things that are on Pinterest, and the reality is there's no shortage of data that people have already conducted that you could turn into an infographic. KBB, Edmunds, all of these different, well, I better say Black Book too, since Jim Coker is on the phone. So all of these companies have done a tremendous amount of research, and you can just turn it into something that's visual and that you can share with your audience. So some other ideas of infographics that you could do: how to get more money for your trade, top 5 things you need to know when buying a car from a private owner, what affects your credit score, how to change your oil. The sky's really the limit, and these are great images that can be used, of course, across all platforms, but on your own website and as part of your blog too. So be thinking in terms of infographics and checklists. And then make it fun. As Bill just said, you know, producing some of those memes, the some e-cards. I spoke to Shelley earlier in the week, and she's with Waldorf Ford. Maybe she's on the line, so shout out to Shelley. I loved what she did here. They have lots of brands that are within their group, and they all did a video for Pharrell's Happy, and it had all of the employees dancing and singing to it, and it showed just a ton of personality. I think that it's funny when dealers respond with these internet follow-up and they say, car buying should be fun, and I think that if you asked anybody, nobody thinks that car buying is fun.
Car
right?
buying
That's
is
the
not fun.
problem.
It's not like shoe buying. Shoe buying is fun.
Right, correct. And so this actually shows personality and makes the customer maybe think that it could be fun. So I love the idea of making people laugh. That's why we're on social media, is because we want to have the social elements. We've all had that Debbie Downer friend that we had to unfollow, but we absolutely love the Joe Webbs and the Bills of the world that post funny things all the time so that we can reshare and look like we're hilarious too.
Did you say that was Elizabeth?
That was Shelley.
That was Shelley?
Yes.
Oh, okay, because Elizabeth wrote in, thanks for adding me into your presentation. She says, yes, that's me, Elizabeth.
Oh, okay, so maybe. I love it. So one of the other things that we heard a lot about when we were at PubCon was the whole idea or concept of newsjacking, and that's taking what's trending and putting your own spin on it. And it was interesting that on Sunday, of course, the Mad Men premiere happened on AMC, and I'm somebody who loves Mad Men, and I was delighted to see that Delta and NyQuil took a page out of their book and started using some of their images and graphics, but to promote their own brand. So think in terms of a journalist and how you can put your own spin on something that could be trending. Similar to that Pharrell Happy song, everybody, I still love it. I know people are probably sick of it, but I think that's great.
It's so funny. I just wrote to somebody and I said, I don't care how many times I listen to that song a day. I could listen to it all day. I love that song.
Yes, I love it. Thank you.
Hey, by the way, I don't want to get too far away from where you just were, because we did have a question that came in from David. David said, Kate said that infographics were some of the most, quote-unquote, somethings out there, but I missed it. What did she say? Pinned.
So on Pinterest, everybody pins and repins infographics.
Thank you very much, David. I hope that answered your question. And Elizabeth wanted you to know that dealership did actually 10 different happy videos.
Yes, and I think, and perhaps she can confirm or deny, that they all competed for a free lunch of pizzas, and so they have an entire playlist. You'll have to search them out, or perhaps Elizabeth can type in the URL so that you can watch all of them. But they did a great job editing and putting it all together. Clearly a lot of time was spent, and they had a really good time doing it.
Oh, great. Okay, back to you. Sorry for the interruption.
No problem. So this is a site that I actually came across yesterday and love it. So it's, if you go on today, I'm maybe mispronouncing it, but canva.com, and most of the images on there are free, but the others are available for only $1. And if you sign up today, you can do it as easy as connecting with Facebook, you get a free $10 credit. And a lot of the images that I've used in this presentation, I got from there yesterday. So in terms of thinking about where you're getting these graphics to build this library, this would be a great resource for you. They have tons to choose from, and you can build presentations and social media, Facebook covers, and all of that. The dimensions are already set up. So better than Fiverr is Canva. You're going to save $4. So this is a fantastic site. I would encourage all of you to go on and get your $10 for free so that you don't have to run from the Google police or worry about stealing an image from another site.
You know what, you're not the only one. Renee Stewart, well, other people too, but Renee Stewart wrote in, she said she loves, loves, loves Canva, #free. And then David said, even the Charlie Sheen kick image, nice.
That one actually didn't come from there, so maybe we are going to get kicked from the other. At least, Eliana, you picked that one out.
I did. I didn't get it from Canva because I didn't know about it until just this very moment, but maybe I need to go and sign up to Canva.
But you're going to make a note of it so that Charlie Sheen doesn't come after you.
Okay. The authorities have been alerted. Nice.
I love it. And so some of the sources and resources that I pulled from on this presentation and would encourage you to go back and look through too. Social PR Secrets, I had an opportunity to meet Lisa at PubCon. She was awesome. It's a really quick book to read. I think it's only $10, and it was highlighted a lot of great information. The reality is that social media is the new form of PR, and if you don't believe me, just get one bad review and you'll start to see how important that actually is. The Social Commerce Handbook is great, and then some of the sites that I follow and companies that I follow, actually the second one, Avalanche Media, is the one who posted about Canva. So follow them on Twitter or like them on Facebook. They're providing some great information on social, and again, it's with this outside perspective from automotive. It's always nice to see what other industries are doing and how useful it can be. But pretty much, hopefully what you take away from all of this is just how important visual marketing is, and that it really is taking over all of these channels, and that you should be using pictures to increase your engagement, and that visuals should be a faster communication of what your message is. So if you have these landing pages on your website, you should also have an image that illustrates that, because as people go through and pin it, they want an image that makes sense to the content that's on the page. It'll be repinned more often. And then focus your efforts on quality content that your audience likes and wants to share. It doesn't have to be the quantity and pushing all of this generic information that gets no engagement out there. Give it a little bit of thought. Maybe come up with a content calendar. Have fun with it. Some of these are, you know, that Easter is coming up on Sunday, or that tax day just passed. Some of these events that you can schedule and plan out are great, because you don't have to come up with something on the spot. You can put a little more thought into those. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, but would love to hear if people have some questions. I'd be happy to.
Kate, you were wonderful. Audience, if you have a question for the Kate Frost, well, now is a great time to send those questions in. We're going to be getting to those in just a moment. Kate, if you're ready, then we're going to go to prize time, which I love. I get to put on my Bob Barker hat, or whoever he is.
Come on down.
So it's that time. If you missed it at the beginning of the webinar, I announced that our good friends at Kate Frost Inc. are giving away a fabulous prize today on the webinar. One of you webinar attendees is going to win a free GoPro Hero 3 camera. and I am oh so jealous.
Uh-huh.
All you have to do is answer a simple question about today's presentation, and the first one to write in the correct response is going to win this awesome prize. So, get to your keyboards, get ready. Good luck, everyone. This is a very short answer. So, fastest typist usually wins.
Get your fingers on the keyboard.
I wish you all the best. Okay, here we go. Good luck. The question is, what % of information submitted to the brain is visual? And of course we already have answers. And yes, we already have it. Oh my goodness. No, the answer is not AJ Maida. It was so close, though. It was so close. Okay, let's see. The very first person to write in the correct, actually, everyone got the answer. Almost everyone got the answer right, except for the person who wrote in AJ Maida. But the very first person to get it right is Christy Garcia. Christy Garcia,
Christy.
You are our winner at 90% with the correct answer. Congratulations. Christy Garcia, you're our winner today. If you wouldn't mind, please write in and let me know what dealership you are with so that we can give you a proper congratulations. Of course, that Hero 3 GoPro camera, dude, so jealous. If you don't want it, you just let me know, okay, little lady? Because I will definitely take that off your hands.
And we can mail that maybe to your home address so that it actually gets to you. I have a feeling that could get lost if it goes to the dealership.
If it comes to the dealership? Well, let me tell you, Christy Garcia is with Sam Schism, I hope I said that right, Ford Lincoln. Sam
All right.
Schism Ford Lincoln. So, Christy, congratulations. I hope you enjoy that. And if you're ready, Kate, we're going to get to some of these awesome questions from our audience.
Great.
And, yeah, go to the next slide.
Oh, my
You know, the one with your picture on it.
Oh, that one.
It has
Hi,
a contact.
there I am.
There you are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got Kate to turn on her webcam. So if
Did
you
it
want
go?
to, well, it did, and then it disappeared. I don't know where you went.
Oh.
There you
Hi.
are. All right, everyone. So there she is. Yes, she's in beautiful Florida. So if you want to say hi. Oh, really? Really?
I'm just kidding. It's water, but I thought it would be really funny.
All right, well, here we go. Let's get to this first question, which came in pretty early. This one's from Frank. Frank wrote in, since so many people engage with Facebook via a smartphone, is it a good idea to put a very copy-heavy infographic up in a post?
I would prefer that it is copy heavy in terms of the picture and less in the characters, because most people aren't going to click on the tab to read more. So you want to pack that with punch, the text, and then, yes, go ahead and you can have text on the post, but just consider that we can't boost a post, or Facebook won't allow you to boost a post if the image has more than 20% text. So if that is part of your strategy, then you want to make sure that those proportions are correct and that there isn't too much text.
Thank you so much, Kate. Great answer. Frank, if you have a follow-up question, you know I'm always here for you, babe. Okay, next question comes to us from Heidi. Heidi says, can you only use Flipagram on a mobile device? Will it work on a desktop?
I haven't used it on a desktop, but I feel like perhaps you can. I will do some testing and find out, but I've found that it's easier. Every one that I've created has been on a mobile device. And the beauty of Flipagram, too, is that obviously it's a video. If you are on a mobile device on Facebook, those videos play automatically. So rather than creating a very long photo album from an event that you did at the dealership or a owner's clinic, to put that together in a 15-second or 30-second video is a great way to get all of those seen. I think it's also neat if you did at the end of the week or the end of the month, if you have all of those customer photos at the time of delivery, that you put it together in that format so that it's not just constant news feed clutter.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, your cohort in crime, our other favorite weather girl, April Rain, she said she doesn't believe it will work on a desktop, but you can put it into Picasa, and Picasa is free.
Oh, okay.
So then you can use it on your desktop. Right?
Thank you, weather girl.
Thank you, April. Okay, I love it when we all come together with all the answers.
Yeah, it's a collaborative effort. It takes a village.
It does take a village. Okay. Yeah, and Michael said Flipagram cannot be downloaded onto a Windows phone. He just tried.
Ooh, is that true?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. But that's a Windows phone, he said. Okay.
Yeah.
So, let's see. David wrote in, too many posts will drive people to hide your feed or unfriend you completely. Moderation is important as well. Thank you for that, David.
Completely agree.
Yes.
And that's why I warn against, I know that everybody loves to post pictures of customers at the time of delivery, but the reality is if you had a 10-car Saturday, you don't want to be posting 10 pictures and clogging up that news feed.
Yes.
Same if you have Dealer Rater or something like that that pushes those reviews right to the news feed. If you're doing a really good job collecting those reviews, it starts to look very spammy. So perhaps just create that tab on your page so that if somebody wants to read reviews, they can go there, but you're not just pushing all of them. The exception to that can be if you have a really great customer testimonial or video, then that would be some good content. But again, don't clog up somebody's news feed or they will absolutely unfriend you or hide you.
Okay, it's so funny. Everyone's writing in these comments. Bill is sending you applause. Craig says, LOL. And Frank says, are you sure that isn't a martini there, Kate? Your cheeks look a little rosy. So,
I'll never tell.
I know. AJ wrote in, forecast, frosty with a chance of rain. So,
of course. It never gets old.
Of course, never. Okay. Next question comes from Jim. He says, what do you think is behind the application by Facebook to the Bank of Ireland to apply for a banking license? What? What do you think is behind the application by Facebook to the Bank of Ireland to apply for a banking license? Jim, you got me on that one. I have no idea what you're talking about. Kate, do you have anything?
I'm going to phone a friend. I don't know.
I don't know either. That was from Jim Coker, by the way.
Oh, is he giving me a hard time?
I don't know. Apparently BBC reported it yesterday, he said.
Oh.
We're going to have to go and find out.
I'll do some research.
Okay.
Actually, it's great because PubCon is doing a one-day summit in Fort Lauderdale next week, and so Jim and I are going to attend that. So I'm excited. Yeah. Okay. We'll ask them. We'll try to get an answer there.
David Evans wrote in stumped, so looks like we got our first stump right there.
Yes, right. Stump the dummy. It didn't take long.
Okay. And for, I don't know why, but Bill Playford wrote in #Nigerian Prince. No idea. Okay.
Right, where you need the social security number so you can transfer the $1 million into your bank account.
Quite possible. Quite possible. Yeah. Okay, let's get to some of these others. Ray, by the way, wanted to know this was a great informative webinar. Thank you so much. Ricardo's the next person who wrote in. Ricardo says, dealer reviews. Are bad reviews good to have?
Question mark?
It was a question mark.
I think that you can't always avoid a negative review, and I believe that, a 4.8 is better than a 5 because it shows that you haven't just completely stacked the deck and had all of your friends and family members leave a review. I think that we've all purchased things from Amazon and read reviews or booked hotels online, and you read through those reviews and you see that one person who's just mad and you kind of discount it. You're like, oh, that's that guy. He would never be happy. There's nothing you could do to please him. But I think that it shows some legitimacy and like you're not stacking the deck.
I absolutely agree with you, Kate. And so
Yeah.
does David. David's with a dealership, and he says, I think it adds legitimacy. What's really
Yeah.
important is how you reply to that review.
Absolutely.
AJ writes,
Yes.
hell yes, it's your chance to shine when you get a bad review. So,
Yes.
and I agree. If there's 600 reviews, and 100% of them are 5-star reviews, I'm sorry, but I got to call foul on that. There's no way you're pleasing everyone.
Correct. Correct. And I think that's further drives home the point. It's fine to have those reviews. Of course, that's also why you don't want to have those reviews automatically populate to all of your social media channels too. I know that there's parameters set up where you could have just the 4 or the 5 stars go there, but again, it's nice to be able to look at those and then post that private reply if applicable first, and then go from there.
Oh, I think so. Ricardo wrote back in, and he said, gives you the opportunity to make them happy and a great story to tell. Yeah, and let me tell you one more thing, Ricardo, because I know from personal experience, if you can win that customer back over, they'll never leave you.
Yeah,
never.
It's huge.
Yeah. Plus, everyone else will see how you won them back over, and that is just,
it further drives home your commitment to
excellence
and customer satisfaction.
Yeah, it's not how you fall, it's how you get back up, right?
Right.
You've seen that meme, right? Okay, let's get to this. Thank you for the great question, by the way, Ricardo. Another great question comes in from Lisa. She says, can Kate repeat the info about Google+? What should appear on the right side?
Sure. So it's going to be when you do a search for your name where your Google Places is, and that would be probably, if you haven't updated it or managed it, it's going to have a image of a map, and then down below will be your name, address, phone number, all of that information. But if you've merged it with Google+, and I can also email a sample of what it looks like, then you would have how many followers, a button so that you can follow, and then at the very bottom it would show your most recent post, and that's being pulled in from Google+, and it'll have an image there and also the text that corresponds. So even more so than Facebook, where it would be, you don't want to do too many things that are salesy, it's almost okay, I think, to put something that has a little bit more of a sales or service pitch, since it is getting first page placement on Google+.
Lisa wrote in, I have everything but the follow button. So there you go.
And I know that dealers have had a lot of trouble with that, because now Google, in an effort to make everything easier, has of course made it more difficult. If you didn't set up that original one with a Gmail account and tie it correctly with your YouTube, there's a little bit of a rub there, but you might have to go through the verification process again, either by phone or through that postcard.
Yes. As David said, that's the Google way. And
it is.
Lisa, if you have a follow-up question, please, we'd love to hear it. I want to get to this comment Greg just wrote in about the previous question about bad reviews. And Craig says, Kate taught me a lot about reviews on Google and how to answer them both negative and positive. I think it's very important not to ignore any review and to put a personal touch on all of them. Facebook, Google, etc. reviews. Thank you so much for that comment, Craig. We really appreciate it. Michael wrote in, what's Kate's email address again? Well, guess what? I got all her contact information on the screen right now. And let me tell you, honestly, Kate can put up with me. She can put up with anyone.
True. Hashtag truth.
Okay, honesty. Seriously, she's so nice and so giving. And if you want some great information and just information that's always spot on, Kate's your girl. Don't hesitate 1 second. Contact Kate, get in touch with her. She's a phenomenal resource and a super nice lady to boot. So, yeah, and she's easy to remember. It's Kate at Kate Frosting, by the way. So, oh, we have people seconding and thirding that, by the way. Okay, next question comes to you from Elmer. Elmer says, perfection in pictures is very important. Bad photos show you as a seller don't care about your stock. how are you going to sell cars if you photograph your car worse than the competition?
And I think Elmer brings up a great point. When I'm talking about Facebook and that it doesn't have to be perfection, I think that's almost opposite from what we would say on our website, right, where the photos should be as high quality as possible because they're being distributed. You're paying for them to go to these third-party sites, so you want to put your absolute best foot forward. But in the case of, hey, we just got in our first 2014 Highlander, and you take a few pictures to get them up and interacting on social media, I don't think that it has to be perfect. People are forgiving in the same way that I think the fear with YouTube and video is, oh, I don't like the way my hair looks today, or I sound funny on. We overthink it and think that it needs to be totally professional when it just doesn't need to be. People just want to get the information.
I mean, we are talking about social media, so I rarely post photos that are perfect on my social media. I don't know about anyone else.
Especially after 10 p.m.
Anything really after 9 o'clock is really,
yeah.
You never know. But Elmer, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Next question comes from Frank, and it was a follow-up that I didn't see until just now. So Frank, if you're out there, I know you are still out there. He said, use the Grand Cherokee infographic as an example, the one you displayed earlier. I am so sorry. I have no idea in what context the rest of your question was. So please write on back in and let me know, unless you can decipher it, Kate.
No, but I was going to mention if people want access to the lists and some of these graphics that we showed, the presentation, Eliana is going to be able to, you'll upload it or you email it to everybody so that they have access to it?
I don't email it to everyone. It's a very large file. But if you would like a copy,
I'll upload it to SlideShare, and then everybody can download it from there or view it again.
Yeah, or if you'd like, just email me at eliana@dealerun.com, and I'll send you the PDF of all the slides for you, okay? Eliana.
And I want to give a shout out to Now Marketplace, who actually created that graphic, that comparison graphic. They do a great job of putting those together. I have Infinity stores who are, you know, stacked up against BMW and Audi. I think they're great information, and it's great content to have, again, on your website, on your social media channels, as an email template, even if people are still doing newspaper ads.
Oh, okay. I know. Okay, so Frank wrote back in. He was the very first question I asked you about having graphics that might also be copy heavy.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Frank said the infographic shown earlier was a Grand Cherokee versus the competition infographic.
Yeah.
It had MSRP, options, etc. It was very copy heavy.
Yes, that's true. And so in terms of Facebook and being able to boost that post, they would probably reject it, but that's one that does do really well, obviously, on Pinterest, or if you wanted to still post it, but then not promote it.
I gotcha. Okay, but you know what? I read someplace, oh gosh, I wish I could remember where I read it, but that infographics are insanely much more effective than just plain old text paragraph.
Oh yeah.
Lots of words. So,
yeah, nobody wants to read. I mean, that's true of the email responses we send out, the way that we communicate with each other through text messages. It really is the less is more, and if you think about the information submitted to the brain, 90% visual, that's a lot more interesting than pages and pages of me trying to decipher which one is better. Is it the Cherokee, or is it the Highlander, or the other brands?
Yeah, well, okay.
And then you can always weight it to you.
Frank wrote back and he says, it scares me to put that on Facebook because he's scared someone would flip right past it on an iPhone. I think it's worth taking the risk. I think it's better than text any day of the week.
Sure, I agree.
Give it a shot. Do an A/B test. You should always be testing anyway.
And by the way, there's a lot of stuff we put out there that people go right past. I mean, you sometimes think, oh, you know, that one's going to be a hit and I'm going to get tons of interaction, and then you get crickets. So
right. So unless
you just have to keep trying, and maybe it hits.
The only thing you're guaranteed is if it has a kitten, a puppy, or a baby. That's it. Kitten, puppy, baby. That's it.
Yes, yes.
We all know about that. Okay.
We have a cat driving the Jeep Cherokee.
But Frank, I understand your concerns. I say you should test it out. Couldn't hurt. It's only going to take, you know, test it out in a couple days and see what happens. Okay, let's get to this question from Craig. He says, what do you think about video walkarounds put on our YouTube channel or website on certain used vehicles or new vehicles? Do you prefer a new or a rare used vehicle in stock done by an employee here at the dealerships? That's two separate questions, really.
Well, I say the more the merrier, and absolutely upload it to YouTube as long as you're tagging it correctly with a title that contains either your dealership name or geography, some of these keywords, and then in the description, describe the vehicle, have a link back to the VDP. That's tremendous SEO value, and will certainly, with some effort and consistency, get first page results on Google. So whether it's rare or whether it's every single vehicle, I say the more the merrier. If you can do them all, do them all.
There you go. Craig, thank you for the great questions. Let's see. This next question comes from Ray. Oh, I've never heard this question before. How often should you post? Oh, and doesn't it depend on which one you're talking about, Twitter, Facebook?
Yeah. I was going to say with Facebook and Google+, I think one time a day is great. It just keeps up with that frequency. It's that drip effect. With Twitter, it moves much faster. If you only tweeted one time a day, it would be lost within an hour. So with Twitter, you can tweet multiple times a day, tweet your heart out. But with Facebook and Google, I would say that you would probably want to do it once a day.
And Pinterest?
Pinterest, the beauty of Pinterest is that it isn't time-stamped in that same way that these others are. And for clients that we manage, we will spend, you know, once a week pinning some of the images, but you can pin till your heart's content.
I love it. Ray, if you have a follow-up question, hey, we're here for you, man. Okay, Renee wrote in, what success have you seen from dealers who plug in FB comments on their blog?
Oh, in terms of being able to share it through Facebook or Pinterest and those types of things?
What success have you seen from dealers who plug in Facebook comments on their blog? Oh. Yes.
Yes, okay. Yeah, so being able to share it, I think that it all really depends on the content that you're using with the blog. If it's just an RSS feed and it's manufacturer and nobody's even reading your blog, then you're probably not going to have a lot of success. But we know that even from, you know, Renee's blog or a Dealer Refresh, some of those other ones, that you absolutely press those buttons, and as one of those slides just showed, even more than Facebook, Pinterest is really big for that button being used the most.
I gotcha.
It's a way for me to follow all of these blogs that I like, or when people send me articles that I think are really good, but I don't have time to read them at that moment, and I go back and can pin them.
Thank you, Renee. Great question. Love hearing from you. Okay, going back one question from Ray. Ray said he was, and this was how many times a day should you post?
Right.
He said just looking for the optimum. Once a day, 3 times a week, 10 times a month, etc.
I say 1 time a day.
There you go. Ray, there you go. Let me know if you have a follow-up question, Ray. Oh, he wrote in thanks. There you go. Ron, I'm going to give a shout out to Ron. He says, awesome info. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, next one comes from David. David says, while engagement is very important after a business page has gathered a following, at what point, number of fans, should the efforts focus change from growing the fan base to maintaining that fan base? Oh, is there a point of no return?
Right. I think that I don't know that there is a magic number to any of that. It depends largely on your market. I mean, somebody who's located in Dallas, Texas versus Gainesville, Georgia, that audience size is going to be different. And I really do believe that to have the quality of the post, and now you can pay the $5 to boost the post, and it's going to be seen by a much larger audience and naturally grow your fan base. But I think that it doesn't have to be, and let me back up and say that with the Polk integration and having that data available and really being able to target in-market buyers, I would change your advertising efforts so that that's the audience that you're trying to reach, and not necessarily just, I want the 112,000 fans, that you're targeting your in-market shoppers that are either for, if you're a Toyota store, that are going to be in the market for a Toyota, a Honda, a Nissan, a Hyundai, that you can put your message in front of them. Because at the end of the day, it really is about driving traffic. Those ads can either link back to your own Facebook page, or you can drive them directly to your website.
Agreed. David, thank you so much for the great question. That was really wonderful. And, oh, David wrote back in. Cool. There you go. Cool. Okay, next question. Great question coming in from Kyle. Kyle said, you said previously that 70 or 80% of users on Pinterest are women.
Yeah.
What would be the best way to reach out to the women on there? And I got to tell you, Kate, I have never done a webinar yet about how to sell to women, but seeing these stats about Pinterest, I would have to say that would be a great way to get. So what would you do if you wanted to definitely get in touch with women?
So what's interesting about Pinterest, and I saw this from probably a year or two ago when I started using it, was that when I did a search, because I was trying to see, are dealers posting to this, what are they doing, and when I did a search for a vehicle, what I came across, and what's great to see, is how people are using Pinterest. So in this example, I think that I was looking for, I did a search for a Jeep, and I saw that this woman had pinned the Jeep onto a board called My Car Shopping. And when I clicked on it, I could see all of the different cars that she had looked at. You know, the ZMOT report tells you that customers are going to 18 different websites before they set foot on 1.2 dealerships and all of that. And so think of how difficult it would be to remember where you saw these particular vehicles. Was it on AutoTrader? Was it on Cars.com? So this woman had actually created this board that kept track of all of those images and had comments like, I love this, but I know my husband wouldn't. And so I think in terms of these tools and those infographics, when people are on there and they're thinking about looking for a new car, what would be helpful to them as part of that research process? So having those infographics on, what affects my credit score, or how do I get the most money for my trade, all of that information is great. Make sure that it's well branded, it's somewhere either on your blog or on your website so that the hyperlink back to it takes them to your site to continue the search.
Thank you so much. And Lisa was joking. She wrote in and she said recipes. So,
right.
Obviously, right?
Fashion.
Now, Kyle wrote in, he said, thank you for answering his question. Different David wrote in, can you put videos on Pinterest? Now, Pinterest is a photo sharing social media site, but you can put videos.
Yep, you can absolutely post videos to it. You can upload images even if they aren't housed somewhere on another website, although the real value is when there's that backlink or the ability to get back to one of your properties. But yes, if you're on YouTube, pin away and put those videos on there. I would say that the best practice is to have a board that's titled your dealership name and has some of your assets, whether it's links to DealerRater or to read some of your reviews or staff photos, customer events, things you've done in the community, and then have a board for every single model that you have in stock. We even set up around Christmas time a board for presents to give your car enthusiast that you need to shop for, and so you can still have a lot of fun with it, but it really isn't the place to do recipes and that kind of thing, because people aren't going to Toyota of Plano to find out what they should make for Easter dinner.
Okay. Well, David wrote back in, clearly I'm not the most Pinterest-savvy guy. Thank you very much.
Just based on his name, he's probably not the target audience.
And Michael wrote in, great feedback, Kate, on Pinterest. Thank you so much. What is the duration allowed of videos on Pinterest?
Oh, I don't even know if there's a max. You can, I haven't seen that or encountered it yet.
Okay.
I think that if you have, probably the ones that are going to be the most effective are 15 or 30 seconds or a minute, and not hours worth.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't post this on Pinterest, this hour, 15-minute video. You know, I mean, April wrote in, it just links back to the source if it's too long, I guess. And then
oh, okay.
David wrote in again, and he said, looks like I'm going to have to mess up with that 80% of women post because I'm going to set up a Pinterest account right now.
He's going to be addicted.
There you go. I know it.
Kiss away an hour a day.
April also wrote in, GIF files play within the screen. So you don't.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes. And it should be noted that the only person as obsessed with Pinterest is April, so she's a great voice. And you can tell when she's been on Pinterest because it's all over Facebook, or I've received a lot of pins, so I appreciate it.
Just so you know, David, another David wrote in, David, you just lost your man card. Yes, I did say GIF files. Okay, here we go. Thank you so much for all those comments. Let's get to these last couple of... Then the first David wrote back in, yes, he gave up his man card for work. Things he gives up for work. Okay.
To sell cars.
Yes, yes. Everything is to sell cars. Okay, Bill wrote in, is it better to have a presence on all of these services, or is it better to choose a few you have a lot of content for? What would you say, Kate?
Yeah, I would definitely say that in terms of a pecking order, that you want to focus on Facebook and Google+, because Facebook is the 800-pound gorilla with more than 1 billion users. If you're not on there, I mean, all of your customers are. That coupled with how specific the advertising can be. And then with Google+, because you get that first page access to all of that information, it's so important. If you have those merged correctly, that allows you to upload those photos, respond to reviews, do all of that, really own your page and brand yourself. And so probably the ones that maybe aren't as important, if you really wanted to focus your efforts, would be on, I would say, Instagram and sadly Pinterest.
Thank you so much. But
although I should say that Pinterest is probably one of the easiest social media channels to create content for, because you can literally just be repinning and doing searches, and it's also a great resource to find content to post to these other channels. So
there you go. I absolutely agree. Don't even bother with a social media site unless you're actually going to be on the social media site.
Right. One of my favorite lines is, this isn't the field of dreams, and you can't just build it and they will come. So you need to actually be posting content and have a voice. I think it's worse if it shows that you haven't been on Facebook since 2012 than to not even have the link.
Right. And I should also say, oh my gosh, we've got so many comments on this. April wrote in, social media companies can manage all of these medias 10 times more efficiently than a dealership because they have the tools to distribute. And then Michael wrote in, Do you have any suggestions for prompting repins? What kind of suggestions would you say would make really good repins?
Definitely the infographics and having even some funny car-related quotes on there. If you're a Ford dealer, Henry Ford had so many great quotes, and so we'll do a board just of those, and you can find all of those already on Pinterest. But I would say go and play around and look at what other maybe competitors or dealers that you know of that are active have done, and then at the bottom of each of those pictures it's going to show you how many people liked it or repinned it, but certainly there is a really good time of day to be doing some of those pins. Most people spend Saturdays and Sundays, like the weekend, on Pinterest, so if you do them on Friday, that could be a good time.
Excellent. The David who lost his man card, he wrote in, you're posting photos of customers taking delivery. Should you make a collage type of photo and send it out, or is that a stupid idea? I mean, what's...
No, I like that idea. One of the apps that I really like is PicStitch, and that's where you can kind of create those collages and put some of those together. I think it's also fun if you change out your cover photo on Facebook so you have all of those happy customers. They have a little bit more notoriety and visibility beyond just the day that you posted. You could have it up for a week or two and switch it out. It also makes you look very customer focused and that you care about your customers.
Excellent. Great idea, David. Good luck with that. Okay, let's see. Oh, gosh. April wrote in, they now have VidStitch so you can make a collage of a walk around. Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
And AJ said www.quotewise.com. Oh, for the quotes. Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Yes, David, VidStitch, just like it sounds. Yes. And thanks, you're welcome. Okay, April is volunteering you for some things. She says, I think Kate should volunteer to do a visual guide of what kind of pictures should be posted where. So there you go, you have some homework to do.
Awesome.
Okay. Great. Lisa, last question. What's the best way to word that having a presence on all the social media sites is great for your SEO? Oh, I see. How do you sell it to the management?
Yeah, so it's pretty easy, and Lisa, if you want to email me, I think the best way is to show it, and I've got certainly lots of samples of dealers I work with that when you do a search for their name, 3 or 4 of their social media links show up on the first page, which means that their competitors have been pushed to the second page, which is also the best place to hide a dead body because nobody clicks on page 2 of Google. So you really email me, and I have screenshots from other presentations I've done that really highlight how, if you're doing it right and consistently, that it's going to show up and be on page 1.
Lisa, get with Kate. You will not regret it, okay? Okay, this just turned into a Dexter spinoff. No, we're not hiding bodies over here.
Right.
Okay, and then I want to let you know, oh, Lisa wrote in, thanks. And Subi wrote in, we're doing a happy video at Digital Dealer, and you two had better participate.
Oh, I love it.
There's no way I'm missing that. No way whatsoever.
I love it. We're gonna have to do it at the DEALERUN booth again, just to have some consistency and a theme. They always have good music and drinks.
I love it. I love it. That's booth 623 for all you happy, fun people out there. If you want to join in, thank you so much, audience. You were absolutely spectacular, and Kate,
thank you.
You were wonderful. I love having you on my show. You give such great, pointed advice to every single person, and except for that BBC thing, I don't think anyone got to stump you today.
I'll get back with you, Jim. I promise. Clearly, I need to watch the news.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, of course, we're way past the top of the hour. Any questions that weren't answered, you know what? You don't even have to wait for me. Just contact Kate, Kate at katefrostinc.com. She's here to help. She's a wonderful resource, like I said. I want to remind the audience a link to download a copy of today's webinar recording is going to be emailed to you in just a couple hours. You've got to give me a chance to convert it and stick it up online, all right? You'll also be able to view it online within 24 hours. Just go to dealerun.com/webinars. Click on the link on the right-hand side for on-demand webinars, and from there you can access any of our past webinars. You can also view and register for our upcoming webinars too. And hey, this webinar, we're going to close this out in just another minute, and you're going to receive a short survey. You got to let me know what you thought of this webinar. I want to hear from you. I want you to fill out this survey, and because we're always looking for great feedback from our audience, and let us know and let Kate know what you thought of today's webinar presentation, what you thought of how she handled the questions, what you thought of the information that was presented. We want to know. Grade her, and guess what? When you do that and you fill out that survey, we also pick out 2 random people from all those completed surveys to also win some Google prizes. You don't want to miss out on another prize, do you? So please do that. We really want to see what you thought. I also want to let you know that DealerUn is going to be at the upcoming Digital Dealer in Atlantic City, May 6th through the 8th. You got to stop by. If not just to meet me at booth 623, you got to stop by because guess what? We have the Future of Dealer websites right now. It's actually launching on May 1st, and you'll be one of the very first people to see it. It's called Chameleon. And you got to see why Google has recommended that your dealership's website be built on a responsive platform. And you know what else? You stop by our booth, you're going to check out the sexiest darn dealer websites you have ever seen. It's going to be a Digital Dealer next month, booth 623. Check out Future of dealership websites. So if you're going to be there, I also need you to check out our speaking sessions from 2 of our EVPs at DealerUn. You don't want to miss that. And if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, I just don't know what you're waiting for. I'm going to give you a $100 discount if you use that discount code that's on your screen now. So I hope to see you there. It's going to be a great time in AC. And yeah, invitations will be going out tomorrow for our next webinar. Say what? 5 key communication skills that's going to sell more cars. So if you're like 99.9% of salespeople, you're always looking for a way to increase your closing ratio today. Not next week, today. So what if there were 5 simple, easy to implement ways to do just that? Sounds too good to be true? Well, these 5 techniques have worked for many others, and they're going to work for you too in this fast-paced 1-hour webinar. Sales trainer Jennifer Suzuki is going to discuss the 5 communication skills that's going to sell more cars. She knows exactly what you need to say to your prospects to move more metal. And she's ready to share these 5 incredibly valuable tips with you. This amazing presentation will swiftly influence your sales performance and dramatically increase your closing ratio. You owe it to yourself to see the impact these 5 communication strategies can have on your bottom line today, so don't miss it. It's going to be another fabulous presentation by your friends at DealerUn. And don't forget, DealerUn's weekly webinars are held Thursdays, 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. We have some amazing webinar subjects planned for this year, but if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions regarding these webinars and our topics, hey, contact me directly. I love hearing from you. My name is Eliana Raggio. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, all the automotive social networks. So just track me down online or email me directly at eliana@dealerun.com. Thank you all so much for spending this time with us today, and I hope to see you all on a future webinar in our continuing education series. Have yourselves a great week, great weekend, and happy Easter, everyone. Take care.